Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have a bit of a difficult discussion today, and that discussion is going to be focused on how Kuro Games is absolutely f***ing over new players, and they're over new players at one of the worst times ever, Wuthering Waves' anniversary. Let's go ahead and talk about it, because this issue is outlined over here pretty well in this post, but there's actually more elements outside of the anniversary rewards and events where new players are getting screwed over. But let's tackle this area first. Kuro is punishing new players who refuse to skip the story. It feels completely backwards. Let's listen to this. My friend hates spoilers and won't skip a single cutscene to rush into 3.0. So what they're talking about over here is the fact that several anniversary events are actually not accessible in the game unless you're in Lahai Roi. And the only way to get to Lahai Roi is to activate that portal right in Honami City and then teleport over there. That requires you, right, to essentially skip through the entirety of Renesita Septimont, skip forward into 3.0, so on and so forth, and miss some of the most incredible story we've ever had in Gacha, the entire 2.x arc. And there are probably a lot of individuals out there, right, when it comes to, like, their story experience in a narrative-driven game like Wuthering Waves. I mean, like, brother, do we even, like, really need to talk that much about the game being, like, narratively driven, bro? Like, do I go into galleries here? And then, brother, look at all the shit they got for the main story, bro. Like, look at this, man. Look at this. That's all the stuff that's been in this game thus far. You're being asked to be like, all right, this, that, all of this. Let's start over here. When the story in WuWa is one of the biggest draws to it, because it's considered one of its strongest points, cutting out a massive portion of some of the best stories in the game to, I don't know, enjoy the game's anniversary does seem a bit counterproductive. Because these two events over here, Lolo Express Promise Delivered, and probably the more important one, Star Bouncing, you gotta be in Lahai Roi to use them. So yeah, he treats anything about Lahai Roi as a spoiler and wants to experience the story properly. What a guy. Oh, who could imagine wanting to do that? Probably most gamers. Probably most actual gamers. And that's the part that hurts. Because one thing about gacha games, right, is the fact that a lot of times mainstream gamers or the mainstream audience can think that gacha games are like cheaper, lower quality, right? Cash grabs, all of that. And that stigma has been there for a very long time because that used to be a fact. Gacha games used to be like literal cash grabs. But when WuWa is like this AAA title, right, that is putting out some of the most insane content, right, the space has ever seen, especially with the Cyberpunk collab and all that stuff coming out, WuWa is slowly but surely becoming a mainstream game, also getting featured at places like Summer Games Fest. But this shit over here, this is not a mainstream experience. Logging into a game, skipping all of its story, and then moving on to the most latest installment, right? That's not really like a mainstream thing to do, especially when the game isn't really even that old. For someone like World of Warcraft, sure, I could like imagine it, but it's also like, I don't think World of Warcraft requires you to play the most recent whatever to like access the events at the very least. Maybe they do. The game's like 11 plus years old right now. I don't really know. But the thing is, this isn't like an MMO, right? This is essentially a single player game with some co-op elements occasionally. And there shouldn't really be any reason for you to need to skip content in a single player game. That's my personal take, at least. And I'm pretty sure most mainstream players would have that take as well. Like, hey, the newest expansion for The Witcher 4 just came out. Oh, and by the way, there's a limited time event. You have to skip the entire story to get all the rewards in-game. Yeah, you gotta skip the entire baseline story and only play the expansion to get the rewards in-game. It's a special new, like, whatever thing. That'd be kind of retarded, wouldn't it? CD Projekt Red would never do that. But that's essentially what's being done here. They added an expansion to a game, but you gotta skip the entire base game to get the full experience of the expansion. Not good for new players. So now, they listed out his account, and they showed all of the coins that you cannot get from, like, Star Bouncing and the coins you cannot get from Lolo Express Promise Delivered. You're missing about 800 of them. But you are able to get 600 in-game. But this is the thing, right? you're only able to get 600. But if you're only able to get 600 of these amazing coins, right? What are you not going to be able to get? No 15 tubes. No 500k shell credits. Not that big of a deal. Oh, you want those. Yeah, you want those 10 signature weapon pulls, especially when this is the anniversary patch, and also especially when the Cyberpunk collab is the next update. You want to know what a lot of other people are doing too, guys, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of people are coming back to Wuthering Waves or starting it for the collab, because they're starting it during the anniversary. They're starting it during the collab, right before the collab comes out, to get a head start, grind all the stuff, have the resources, and then this is the shit they're getting met with. Skip to Lahai Roy, or you are gonna miss 10 pulls for the Cyberpunk collab. Oh, sweet. Woohoo! Anyways, skip to Lahai Roy, skip everything in Renacida, skip everything in Jinzhou, new players, or you're missing 10 pulls for the collab. What I think Kuro is accomplishing over here with this is that they're going to draw a lot of seasonal players, right? That might get hooked. But what they're doing is they're hurting a lot of players that maybe want to enjoy Wuthering Waves in their own way, which would involve playing the story chronologically so that their experience in Lahai Roy isn't ruined or, you know, mitigated by the fact that they, you know, skipped Jinzhou and they skipped Renacida. Some people might want to just skip ahead and just read story summaries for what happened in Renacida and Jinzhou, and they'll be fine that way. But the thing is, you don't have options. You don't get to choose. It's either be the guy that's okay with skipping and catching up later, or go fuck yourself. When it could have been as easy as, guys, hey, you can get a fast forward. You can get a bit of a mini teleport over to Lahai Roy. Just tell people that their story experience might be a little bit diminished. They get a story teleport over to Star Bouncing. Story teleport over to Lolo Express. Because, guys, this is the anniversary. And in a situation like this, we shouldn't be putting any type of barrier at all that could, like, potentially fuck a player over and make them want to quit the game before they barely even experienced any of the stuff in it. And this is just kind of like a dumb-ass thing to do, to, like, make some of these event areas exclusive to areas that you can only unlock in the story. I think that this is where maybe Kuro can take a bit of a page out of Genshin's playbook. When Genshin adds a new region, I think you could just, like, walk there from the start of the game. Or you can, like, find some sort of way to, like, get there from the start of the game. You can't, like, do that in Wuthering Waves. Like, there's no way to get to Lahai Roy. I don't even know if there's a way to get to Renacida. And it's a bit rough. We do have the story skips, but some people don't want to actually utilize those. And I feel like Kuro just needs to give more options for people on how to enjoy the start of this game. Because you want to know another area where they've said, play the story or skip ahead or go fuck yourself? Let me show you. Think about it this... Ooh, hell yeah, brother. Imagine you're somebody who's on the second phase. And let's just say you did this. You pulled Denya. You got her. You got Chisa too. And fuck it. You got Frolova as well. You did the triple dipper. But you're also a new player. Guess what you're gonna need to do to level up all three of those characters? So, you're gonna have to do this. First things first, you're gonna have to skip ahead to Lahai Roy, and you're gonna have to play the story from 3.0 all the way up to 3.3 and complete like 50% of 3.3 until you unlock the Denya boss fight. Then you'll be able to unlock the Tacit Field to build Denya's stuff. By the way, though, once you complete 3.1, you'll unlock the other Tacit Field that lets you build Denya's Fusion Burst set. So yeah, there you go. You got those two right there, brother man. So that's awesome, right? Just to be able to access their materials in the first place. Then, that's just for Denya. You want to know what else you got to do for the other characters? then once you decide, hey, I want to level up my Chisa, time to play 2.0, brother. Time to play 2.0. Because then you got to go to Honami City to unlock her Sonata set. Because that's in a Honami City Nightmare Nest. And that's the only place to get it. And then when you want to level up your Frolova, oh boy, you gotta go back in time, bro. Because then you gotta go to Frolova's Nightmare Nest, which is only in the 2.5 map, which is in like a fucking butthole in like the middle of the Riddacidum Sea. Bro, this is literally like in the ocean in some random butt crack of the sea somewhere. I don't even know where this is on the map. Do you see what the issue is over here for a new player? You go in, you gotta skip the story to get the event rewards. Then you gotta skip the story to level up the characters. Then you gotta skip the story, but in like a different direction to unlock the other on-banner characters' gear. You need early access to like all these things. Early access to the Nightmare Nest, early access to the flowers used to level up the characters, early access to the events, early access to the bosses, early access to the weeklies, so that a player can just go in, grind this stuff at the very least, but not feel the need to skip through hours of story just to get their units playable. Because guess what, guys? This is an RPG. And you want to know what the basic element of an RPG is that gives players satisfaction? It's leveling up and building your characters. Part of the reason why people play RPG games is to, like, get better gear, make themselves stronger, feel the growth in their damage, because that's just fun, because progression's cool. And when your RPG game, single player one, by the way, is handled in this way, it makes no fucking sense. Honestly, you shouldn't even be able to pull these units until you, like, unlock them in the story, right? You really shouldn't even be able to pull Chisa until you're in WuWa 2.8 story-wise. You shouldn't even be able to pull Frolova until you're done with 2.5. You shouldn't even be able to pull on Denya's banner until you're halfway through 3.3, right? Realistically, that's what it should be. Because you can't even fucking use them anyways. Imagine you're under constant 24/7 police surveillance. It's 1987. This would be like giving 15-year-olds the ability to buy alcohol, but the drinking age is still 21. Retarded, right? It just doesn't make any fucking sense. That's what it's like being able to pull characters, spend money on them, etc., when you can't even build or realistically use them yet until you're like done with their segment of the story. If you're able to pull them, you should be able to build them without restrictions or needing to skip. Because at the end of the day, what's the end result of you're just gonna piss people off. You're gonna be like, oh, yeah, I just pulled for Lova because she looks badass and I love her. Oh, by the way, I needed to skip 20 hours of amazing story to even level her the fuck up. Because all of her shit is in 2.5. And that means I gotta do 2.1, 2, 3, 4. Bro, come on, man. What are we doing here? And I'm saying this as a day one player. I'm saying this as somebody that's played every single story on release. I'm saying that as somebody that doesn't have any of these issues. Because I am literally seeing new players get their experience, like, it's made worse for almost no reason. Like, I don't see a do you think it's going to be devastating if someone gains access to a Sonata set earlier than they should? It's a fucking Sonata set, bro. What do you think it's... You're letting people pull the characters. Don't you think being able to pull Denya is like a story spoiler in itself? Bro, being able to pull Denya spoils 3.x by itself. Her kit kind of spoils 3.x. What are we even worrying about at this point? And bro, if we're worried about spoiler... Bro, you don't even hide it. In the weekly challenge, you just got her fucking face there. It's not even censored. It's just like, yeah. And you got these two doofuses right underneath her too. It's like they're caring too much about, like, respecting spoilers. You're not even doing it yourselves. Just give early access. Like, what is the fucking point? It's all right there anyways. Kuro needs to make up their mind about what they're going to do to streamline the new player experience and what they're going to make, like, sort of like hard and fast sort of restrictions that they want players to be able to work through. And there has to be a realization somewhere that, like, maybe it's helping player retention to keep stuff locked off. But in a lot of ways, I feel like it can't really be that good for player retention to, like, give somebody the opportunity to spend hundreds of dollars or maybe, right, grind for something like this. Then they go, just imagine you're like a 15-year-old kid and you're like grinding at your part-time job. You're like trying to get like a new graphics card. You see one on eBay, no refunds, right? You buy a $500 graphics card on eBay. You think it's perfect, no refunds, and then it doesn't fit in your computer because your case is too small. Bro, how pissed off would you be? You just spent 500 bucks on a GPU. It doesn't fit in your computer because your case is too small. You could definitely fix it, but bro, you know you're gonna be like, oh my god, now I'm gonna have to like unattach my Mobo, buy a new case, put all this shit in. I thought it was just gonna be like a simple just boop, 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 boop. We're good to go. I thought that was it, but now I gotta buy a whole new case. Might as well upgrade my Mobo and everything. You see what's going on here? That's what it feels like with this. Where it's like, yeah, you could just buy the character. There's no refunds as well. And yes, you will be eventually able to build them and use them. But like, bro, the path ahead has to be one of the most uninteresting, unfun things because you're ruining so much about your gameplay experience because of something you couldn't really see coming. You could have seen it coming. You could have measured your case. You could have measured the GPU, but who the fuck is doing that? And yes, you could have, like, looked up, okay, well, how do I build my Chisa? All right, to build my Chisa and my Furlova, I have to unlock version 2.8 and 2.5 and the Nightmare Nest in those fields, so I gotta make... You could do that as well, but, like, most people are just gonna be like, ooh, I like her. Ooh, I like her. Ooh, I'm gonna get her. And then they worry about the building and the stuff like that later. And then when the music hits over here, oh, it's not a very good tune, is it, brother man? It's not a very good tune, is it? So yeah, my personal take is... Let's fix it, Kuro Games. Let's fix it relatively soon. And hopefully, we won't run into any issues like this in the future. Oh, and God forbid we run into issues like this during the Cyberpunk collab. Because, like, bro, imagine you gotta, like, skip through 3.1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Are they gonna get their own fucking Sonata set, too? That's gonna be in the middle of, like, butt crack and Nightmare City, or, like fucking Night City Sonata Field. Bro, I don't even want to think about it, bro. I feel like it's gonna be annoying as shit. But we'll see. Yeah, hopefully they'll let you skip to the collab, grind all the stuff, and make that super easy, right? Surely they wouldn't do a repeat of everything they've done like 4 or 5 versions in a row, right? Surely they wouldn't do that. So let's finish this up over here. Story skippers get everything. People who actually care about the story get FOMO and locked events. This feels like a terrible design choice and feels completely backwards. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if somebody were to be a new player and they asked me, Saint, what's the best way to get ahead quickly in WuWa? What's the best way to, like, get up to the meta, get everything, get all the rewards, get as much account progression as possible? I would tell them, skip to Lahai Roy and then skip everything. And just unlock all the new areas so you have full access to all the task fields and everything, and then watch all the stories on YouTube. Literally, my advice would be skip everything and just watch everything on YouTube later. It would never involve playing it because everything in this fucking game is story locked and you are losing so much actual, like, productivity, so much, like, actual resources if you don't do that. And it sucks. Yes, we all know about character builds being locked per region. Just talked about that. And yes, that is also terrible. But I want to talk about events and rewards right now, especially at Anniversary Celebration. He's got a point. They give you a bunch of stuff, but lock the rest. Why lock the Lolo Express rewards behind completing the 3.3 quest? I don't fucking know. He got a drop of it with a login once, but every other Lolo rewards are locked if you can't complete the previous ones. Does Kuro really feel like people skipping their amazing work to get there fast using FOMO is doing a service to their game and player base? And this might be the thing, right? Maybe Kuro is using, like, main quest completion metrics, right? Maybe Hoyo's using playtime metrics, right? Hoyo's like, yeah, so we just had this new event that takes like 10 hours to do. And so, look, our players are very active. While Kuro's using the metric of, like, I don't know. Hey, look, everyone's done our main quest. Yeah, because to do anything in this game, you have to play the main quest. Look, everyone's played it. Maybe that's what they're doing as well. Who knows? But all I know is that there is a big problem out there that isn't affecting a lot of players, so people might not be keeping it top of mind. But if we're thinking about growth in this game, we're thinking about longevity, and we're thinking about the new player experience, this is objectively dog shit. And to see this on the anniversary and see this right before one of the biggest collabs in gacha history and the biggest collab in Kuro history, I think this is a blunder. And I think this is like a teaching moment, especially knowing the flood of people that are going to be arriving to the game when this shit arrives to the game. Because, like, bro, she's fucking free, bro. Like, bro, imagine she's free and you can't build her. If they do what they did in this patch to the Cyberpunk characters, she will be free and you will not be able to build her. I just hope they do some crazy shit, like give her for free at the end of the story. And so, like, people are going to be, like, skipping the Cyberpunk story to get their Rebecca. That would be devastating. Yeah, I know that'd be kind of fucking crazy, wouldn't it? Anyways, yeah, we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, hopefully they'll figure this out and fix it. I see one person in chat saying, "Oh, maybe they're doing this just to sell bundles to build them." Yeah, you want to know what the bundles don't give you guys? I bought them myself. Yeah, the bundles don't give you any ability to grind the character's echoes. So really, there's not really a point in the bundles because are you good with a level 90 character with maxed out skills that has no echoes on them? No, you're not going to use that fucking character anyway. So yeah, those bundles are kind of dog shit. You got to be able to have the gear grind as well. And so the Sonata sets, very important too. Maybe they'll use I feel like they might use Nightmare Nests. Yeah, they might use Nightmare Nests for these bad boys. But we'll see. Can you grind echoes anywhere? Not the 3.x ones. Yeah, if you're grinding 3.x echoes in the overworld, I have something to tell you. You have a you probably have a terminal disease. Nobody is echo picking 3.x echoes because they drop up to 3 sets. Every echo drops up to 3 sets. So if you're echo picking in the overworld on a 1/3 drop rate just for your set, and then you have the 1/3 to like 1 out of 9 drop rate just for like your fucking main stat, fucking do both at the same time, bro. Fuck that shit. I'd rather literally go do anything else, man. I'd rather do anything else than the fucking echo pick with those rates. Bro, you have a 1 out of 9 chance of getting the one cost that you want. 33% chance of getting the right set, 33% chance of getting the right main stat. You kill an echo, it drops an echo. You 1 out of 9! There's near 10% chance every time you get a drop. I'm good. Anyways, we've already talked about a lot of the problems. Sorry for the little extras over there. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.